Ultimately, I'm a prosecutor as the Attorney General. That is one of the key hats that I wear, as is the Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty and the Superintendent of the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And we are trying to do our responsibility to investigate three matters. Two of them you mentioned already, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, but also Julio Sosa Solis, who didn't die but was shot. And this matter cannot be simply forgotten. We have, in good faith, said, look, we need to see the evidence. As a sovereign, a state sovereign with 10th Amendment rights to be treated as a dual sovereign with the federal government, we are trying to investigate these matters and have been denied access to the file. And the federal government has taken over evidence that is critical and refused to even allow us to see it. So they are impairing our ability to discharge our responsibility to the people of our state. And so we had to sue them over all three incidents. And the theory is very clear. This is an agency, Department of Homeland Security and DOJ, who have taken it in a decision to refuse to do what is normal, natural, reasonable, and routine, which is to share the information, the evidence with the state so that we can complete our own investigation.
You know, your lawsuit has two key things, frankly, that stuck out for us. One, that the lawsuit accuses the Department of Justice of withholding evidence from states routine. You actually, here's a quote from here. DOJ's refusal to share evidence reflected a policy or practice by DOJ made by officials with authority to do so, that the department would categorically withhold evidence from state authorities related to federal uses of force during Operation Metro Surge. The second part is that the lawsuit makes it harder for states to hold agents accountable for unlawful behavior. And part of that has to do with the fact that their identities are concealed because of the masks that they wear. Masking, as you write, not only conceals agents' identities from the public, it also makes it difficult for state and local investigators to identify agents involved in shootings or other potentially unlawful incidents without federal cooperation. I'm wondering, Mr. Attorney General, what you think about the fact that the government has repeatedly argued, even to you, and it's my understanding in conversations that the government has had with Minnesota officials, that the masks are necessary. What do you think about the fact that right now ICE agents are deployed all over this country in airports without masks?
Yeah, absolutely true. The point is that the masks are not necessary. To me, the masks are a very clear sign that, one, they know what they're doing is wrong. They know it's wrong. The government knows it's wrong. Trump knows it's wrong. And they know people will try to identify them and hold them accountable if their identity is known. Also, too, it's a sign that our federal government simply does not believe in due process of law and accountability and making sure that the people are in a position to make sure that the government obeys the Constitution, both very scary things. And so, yeah, quite ironic.
Yeah, it's very ironic to the point of not being funny at all because of the seriousness with which these individuals have been behaving and the way our government under President Trump and now the new head of DHS, Markwayne Mullin, have responded. Now, I want you to listen to the new DHS Secretary's remarks after his being sworn in to head DHS.
I made this very clear that I don't care what color your state is. I don't care if you're red or you're blue. At the end of the day, my job is to be Secretary of Homeland and to protect everybody the same. And we will do that.
Okay. I don't believe him. What about you, General? Because I don't. Donald Trump is the guy who's running that department, not him.
Well, you're right about that. Donald Trump is the ultimately responsible party. But I'm going to take Markwayne Mullin at his word. You know, I served in Congress with Markwayne Mullin, and they must know, because they changed, leadership there, that what they were doing was not working. So Markwayne Mullin has been a senator. He's been a House member. he ought to know that if he wants anyone to cooperate with ICE or anyone in his agency, there's got to be some trust. There's got to be some cooperation. And so until they start breaking the law and violating it, I'm going to assume that they're going to follow it. They lift their hand and swear to uphold the Constitution. So I am not blind to the realities that you've seen, Michael, and I know that you're an astute observer, but I'm just going to say, you said you were going to do the right thing. Now here's your chance. That's my position relative to the new secretary.